Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome back, or welcome to the Hawk. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Wow, what a couple days the energy has been. I was on Monday, and we talked a bit about the going deep, being pulled into our inner selves and some deep feelings. Welcome. I'll let you all come on in. Hello. Hello. It's good to be here this morning. As I mentioned on Monday, today will be a little bit shorter of a live. I was able to hang out for almost an hour Monday morning, but today I have sessions. So we're going to keep it a little bit short and sweet. So the energy on Monday, we talked about going deep, being pulled into our feelings, reconnecting to our higher selves, acknowledging what we need. And there's been a bit of a shift in that. And I understand that energy, the reason why we got that on Monday, because there's a little bit of I'll use the word erratic, panic, a little bit of uncertainty. So I'm not sure if you're feeling that at a level energetically, but it may be coming to you as feeling rushed or feeling like there's not enough time in the day. You also may be feeling this moodiness that's kind of shifting through, or perhaps you're seeing it in other people. So sometimes we'll see it in other people where there's just like this panic, where there's just like this rushing, and not enough time, and not enough time. And I even felt that in my meditation this morning. I felt, oh, I'm running out of time. And there was this whole time thing. And I literally had to bring myself back down and just kind of like back in. And spirit showed me that this is kind of the energy that we're going to be kind of navigating through a little bit between now and Friday. It is going to settle. But there also seems to be this leaning back into old thoughts and old processes. So if you've been kind of leaning back into old thoughts or old patterns or things that don't really serve you, um, I strongly encourage you to get yourself a little bit more grounded, but coming back to reconnecting with yourself. I do have time. There's, what I don't get done today, I'll do my best to prioritize. There seems to be this panicking and energy. Now remember, if you're not feeling this, remember that other people's energy can impact you as well. So if you're feeling that from other people, watch what you're absorbing, watch what you're picking up, because we do pick up other people's stuff, especially all of you who are empaths. So, the empaths that are listening today, you're very aware of what's going on with other people. And sometimes you absorb too much of that, and then you start to feel that. So, the whole is this mine or not mine? Excuse me, is kind of what I need you to kind of bring your awareness to. If it's not yours, make sure that you're in your own lane. Make sure that you're having more fun. Make sure that you're not absorbing some of the energy that's around, because even though it may not be you, like I said, it's other people, and other people can bring up stuff that other people can even bring up stuff that we've healed through and worked on. It can be that moment of, oh yeah, there's something wrong. Oh yeah, there's something wrong. Oh yeah, there's something wrong. And I really feel that kind of creeping around in the next couple days. So it's going to be a bit more of that awareness. And like I said, Monday, watch that chokehold that you put on yourself. Don't get held back into old patterns or old thoughts or in things that you've already worked through. So it's just, I always say, just remember that I said it, because you may see it in those that are around you. You may see it in your workplace. Hold the space of love. Hold the line. Hold the line. Energetic line. Hold it in that loving space. Hold the patience for other people. Hold it, because I think that as we navigate through the next couple days, it's going to kind of get, I don't feel it really loud, but I do feel it very much in my awareness. And I kind of really took note of that this morning, making sure that my own spiritual practices were up to par, that I am very well grounded, that I'm very, and resting has been a little bit of a struggle. How many of you are having trouble staying asleep the last couple days? I just felt staying asleep has been a bit of an energy that's kind of floating around out there. Cheyenne, the old patterns and thoughts are part of the convo that we had had too. We talked about my issues with my self-esteem and how to improve it. So Cheyenne, that's exactly what I felt. that's going to creep around the next couple days is that and it may come up in a discussion like that. It may come up in I have an awareness. I have more work to do around self-esteem, or I've got to be careful I don't lean back into that lack of space, because we do tend to repeat old patterns, and it's because we spent a lot of time very comfortable in that. Even though it was uncomfortable, we were comfortable in that. And I think that as we navigate through the week, and it may be those simple conversations, like it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be rocking your world, but it just feels like there's just this it's kind of how I felt it in my time with the energy of what's going to happen the rest of the week. And it's okay, and acknowledging sometimes, oh yeah, I still have work to do on being patient with myself, or oh yeah, I still have work to do on that confidence piece. Or perhaps it's I need to really polish up on being able to let go of what's not mine. Sometimes things pop up to show us where the work still needs to be done, and it's okay. Or we tend to be hammer ourselves down when we have that trip and fall, or we have that moment where we're feeling stuff. It's okay. I just need to be able to navigate through it, and I think we're going to feel that navigating through it energy this week. And perhaps you'll go to the other end of the spectrum, where it's more, oh, I handled that very well. I have worked on myself. Look at me. I navigated through that in a much stronger alignment. So there's that part of it too. Remember, there's always two ends of every stick on how you're grabbing, what you're going to grab at, right? So, it's remember that you're learning. Remember that other people have their stuff. Remember that there's processes going on around us with people going through. There's also and I always, and you guys will probably agree, as we get closer into later into November, early into December, we have that whole rush feeling anyway, and perhaps it's just arriving a little bit early with the holiday season, but we do have that rush, right? We do have that I've got to do this and I've got to do that. I also felt spirit bringing in, and I think we'll talk a bit more about this on Friday perhaps, is really kind of that back to basics feeling, that really kind of, like, don't be afraid to make homemade Christmas cards. Don't be afraid to make your plans or your traditions a little bit different. I felt that we're going to kind of lean into a very just that the answer is going to be simplicity. Let's just simplify it. Let's just kind of come back to what that space within us. Let's just reconnect to ourselves and reconnect to each other. I think we're going to be talking a bit more about that on Friday, because I felt the energy of being offered to us as, don't make it so complicated. Just kind of let it settle in. Just kind of, that power of now, that going with the flow, that whole space. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. So for whatever reason, and perhaps it's because there's a lot of people going through a lot of different kinds of struggles that get amplified at this time of year. I think that we're at a space collectively where people are having a harder time, whether that be financially or whether that be working on mental health stuff or whatever that it is. And I think that it's just going to be just a smidge louder. And Spirit's been repeating a lot of things for me lately, like repeating. Remember this. Remember this. Remember this. So when spirit starts to repeat like that, like, and literally like saying it over and over again, that's about us coming into, let's remind ourselves, bring us back into who we are, bring us back into a little bit of clarity. So that is kind of how it went for me this morning with spirit. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit surprised when I kind of sat in there. I was literally like, oh, this feels very different than what I talked about on Monday. But I understood why we needed to talk about what we did on Monday, with the going deep and reconnecting to ourselves and acknowledging that we need to listen to ourselves, because we're coming into just a little bit of a shift energetically. And like I said, this is not necessarily a bad thing. And sometimes people panic when I talk about, oh, the energy is going to get a little bit chaotic or erratic. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's an opportunity. And here's how I look at it. It's an opportunity for me to kind of look at it differently, or navigate it through it differently, or be a better supportive person for other people, in a different way, right? In a very different way. So, sometimes when things shift like that, it's about how we're going to look at it and how we're going to navigate through that is so important. Aaron, my car repairs went okay. I have a couple of leaks, but they're fixable, so could have been worse. Absolutely. And I think if I remember correctly, I don't think I felt it terrible either when, and I also said, make sure you're cleaning up the energy because I'm a big believer in this, and your opinion, I value it as well. Is we can make things worse by adding energy to it. It's that whole recipe thing, right? It's that whole what you put out comes back. If you believe in that, if you believe that energy is a thing that it affects us, we can add to the recipe of not what we want. We can attract what we don't want, right? Let's see where we go here. I've been moody and feeling more sensitive to being so busy. There it is, Aaron. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, when you kind of look at that, that statement, when you kind of feel into that, come back to, going into what do you need? What do you need right now? And if you're feeling that it's too busy, you need to have a look at where you can slow it down. And it doesn't have to be, long, it doesn't have to be hours in a day. It can be a few moments to kind of calm the energy down or to start your day off in a calmer energy is huge. It can help us out huge. Yes, I've been feeling anxious regarding time lately. There it is. Yeah, it's I really felt that whole time piece. It was like, why does everybody think they're running out of time? Like, what is this whole? Is it because we're coming into, like, there's already advertisements for Black Friday, and there's the commercialism that we're fed, on social media feeds, and then the whole regular life stuff. So when we put on those layers, we put on the layers. Time is then we start to feel it, and we do feed it, right? Like we do feed everything that comes our way. So what are you feeding it? Yeah. So look, for me, it's like, well, yeah. So what? It's Black Friday is coming up. I don't fall into that. I need something just because it's Black Friday. If I need something, then I'll watch for a sale. But if I don't feed the energy of the panic. I've got to get a deal. I've got to get a deal. Right. Um, let's see where we are here. I had the opposite because I got a job where I'm not commuting so much. Katie, I love that for you. Well done. Well done. Peyton, having the most fun lately and dancing and singing away the panic. I love that, Peyton. Continue that. And for those of you who like to have a lot of fun and moving your body, it does shift energy. Funny enough, me and my spirit guides were talking about this before the live started. We're talking about issues I'm currently having, including the panic. Yeah. So I feel, Cheyenne, thank you very much for sharing what you channeled as well, because there is this panic that's leaking in. And I don't feel that it's like, I don't feel that there's necessarily something bad happening. I don't feel that at all. I feel like we're adding to it. So I feel like we're adding to, either something that we've been programmed to add to. Like there's a lot of programming around the holiday season, right? Right, and whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthdays or whatever's going on around you, we're a little bit panicked because there's the expectation that we have to jump on that boat, right? And go with that, go with that momentum. I think that that's part of it, of why we're feeling it. I also feel that, for a big part of it, we do kind of lean into that whole, it has to be done, it has to be done, it has to be done. And spirit will say to me, if I fall into that, spirit will say to me, who cares if something gets put back on the list for tomorrow? Is it really going to affect it if laundry's not done, or if there's dishes in the sink, or if you didn't get an opportunity to tick something off the to-do list? The to-do list is always ongoing, right? It's always ongoing. And I've explained it to Spirit a few times. There are things that really I need to get done today. And Spirit said, well, then let what needs to be done be enough. It doesn't have to be the whole list all the time, because we do feel that pressure. We do feel that pressure. I love car singing. I do too. I sing my head off in the car. And I trust me when I say I cannot carry a tune, but I don't care. I love it anyway. The old patterns and thought are part of the convo we had. Yeah, oh, sorry, Diane, I read that twice. Peyton, yeah, I feel very excited and haven't been able to stay asleep. Yeah. I don't, every now and again I have moments where I wake up, but the last couple nights seems to be a bit of an energy poke for me. It's like, oh, there's energy there. Oh, there's energy there. So I think tonight I will do some little extra grounding work, or some little extra journaling. Sometimes we think our spiritual practices are right on par and we're doing enough, and it turns out that we just need to turn up the volume a little bit. We need to be more grounded, or a little bit more aware, or a little bit more journaling, or taking a look at what needs to change there as well, in order to help us balance it balance it. I've been waking up constantly throughout the night lately. Yeah, it's an energy thing. I really do. Sometimes we just wake up. Sometimes it's just a thing, or we just wake up, or or we have things that are on our mind. But for me, I really feel this week, and it's probably going to awaken more of us up at night. Is it's the energy coming in, that panic feeling. I've been thinking of starting exercising to relieve my anxiety too. Maybe not dancing, but swimming, fitness could work for me. Absolutely. When we move our physical body, it does make us feel better. Um, I have to talk myself into, once I'm there, I'm good. Once I'm at the gym, I'm good. Or once I'm doing, something that really brings me joy, I'm good. But sometimes we do need that little push of let's get this done, and I know I'm gonna feel better. And sometimes we do, let's be honest, sometimes we're lazy, right? And sometimes we can fall into the old routine of not looking after our physical body. Well, I've talked a lot about the book, the body keeps score. Our body, it does hold on to things and remember things, and the best way to kind of shift that is to get ourselves moving. Andrea Banks, lots of trouble staying asleep at 3 a.m. wake time this morning until 5ish. There it is. Yeah, it's energy. I was awake right around. I'm usually awake by 4:30 anyway. But I was awake a lot last night with the and I just simply get up and start channeling is what I normally do because I'm not going to lay there and fight it. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Lana. I'm wondering if Spirit has a message, or Camilla. Sorry, I'm wondering if Spirit has a message to me. Have have not been sleeping and reacted badly to something and got sick today. Felt like my grandma was there with me, still can't eat. Camilla, I feel that number one, I've got to just kind of work on a little bit of the grounding. I feel like you're holding on to a lot of things. It's almost like you're a sponge that doesn't get wrung out. And when that sponge, and this is how spirit is showing me, when even a sponge has a capacity of what it can hold before you have to wring it out or it's stopping wet. And that's how spirit is showing it to me. Is like you're absorbing a little bit too much, and it's time to just kind of do some letting go work. So, and letting go work and releasing work, there are so many awesome ways to do it. You can just simply write a note and safely burn it outside. You can just connect with the earth back against a tree, laying on the ground, letting the earth absorb what you no longer need, giving yourself permission. I'm really hearing that as permission. It's like you need permission to be able to release and let go. Give yourself that it's okay. Right. I really feel it's permission. I need to just spirit saying, give her permission to let that go. Speaking of singing, my voice finally works enough again to sing too. I miss the singing because that's really my outlet. I love that. Um, Dee Dee, I have been noticing my perspective has changed for the better on many things. Well done, you, Dee Dee. Yep. So this is Cheyenne to Aaron. I must have missed Aaron's comment here. Let's see if I can come back up to it. Clean up my energy so I don't attract the wrong things. Yeah. Spirit, and I think that's something I just want to touch base on that comment for a moment. I think that that's something that we're always working on. Like I think like even for myself, I've got to clean up that thought. I've got to clean that up. I got to clean that up. It's almost like I actually do have an imaginary broom that comes in and kind of cleans up my mind space. It's like the broom off of a Walt Disney movie where it just comes in and sings and dances and cleans that up because we do lean into things that we need to clean up. So, and it's okay to have to clean that up. I think we're always working on that. Our brain goes to places that we may not even be aware that we're allowing it to go, and we just need to clean that up. I always shift. I always say it. Think, try and get a different perspective. What else is there to see? Changing those lenses. We've talked about that quite a bit on being able to change the perspective and looking for the lesson. And I'm learning this, and it's hard, and it's okay that it's hard. It's all those things that we talk about almost every live, right? When it comes to that stuff, but it's so good to just kind of remind yourself, I'm learning too, right? I'm learning too. Resonates with uh, Amber. Resonate strongly with the unusual sleep patterns. That was my plan for the holidays to Cheyenne. Ignore this if you don't have time, but I'm curious if my grandpa have anything to say to me. Katie, I number one, I feel that I feel like he's supporting you and cheering for you, and I feel though, and as I say that, he's getting louder and louder, and I don't know if there's been, or if you perhaps that you have felt that there hasn't been a lot of cheering for you, but I feel like I've got to acknowledge that there's a lot of support and a lot of believing in you. So I don't know if you struggle with other people believing in you, or if you struggle with believing in yourself, but that is his main thing. He just keeps pushing this whole believing in yourself, and people believe in you. I hope that helps there. Um, let's see there where we go. Good morning. Good morning, PJ. PJ stepped in here. Good to see you all. I'm trying to get as many questions as I can and keep an eye on the time. Um, I do go very deep. I analyze my heart space more the past few days. Yeah, that's that deep space. And I think going into that deep space, it's a really good space to be able to go. To be able to go a little bit deeper and to be able, and when we go deep, I just want to add this. When we go deep, we're also able to pluck out what needs to be pulled. Sometimes we're holding on to something that we don't even realize is there. And it often will come up when we go deep. Right. So things will come up for me when I go really, really deep, and I go deep every day. Every now and again, something comes up with, oh, well, that's still there, and I'll lovingly release while I go deep as well. Um, Katie, the war is rough. It definitely takes a toll if you're an empath. Yeah, it does. Energetically, it does. Katie, I just want to touch base a little bit with that, because I struggle as the spirit to understand, and I cannot get my head around the understanding of war, right? I just can't, and I'm sure many of you will agree. So, and I always feel so helpless in that, and what I do is, number one, I know it's happening, but I try not to get too deep in it. I try not to follow it too much. But what I do is I reserve a moment of my day and of my energy to send it to those that are struggling with that. Both those who, at both ends of it too. For the people, I do the best to send to Care Bear Stare, to send that energy, to hold the love line. And I also ask Spirit to help them see what's happening, and to help them see, what's happening there, is very much physical world stuff that has, and I've asked that to Spirit over and over again. Can't you stop it? Like, what, can't you stop this? And Spirit literally responds to me with, this is physical world. This is physical world choice. This is the struggle with the oneness. This is the struggle that's been happening for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's, all I can do from this perspective is work on that love line, and being able to send that, and to help with that, and to try not to get into the feeling of, this isn't working, because I have said this to myself. I am focusing love and energy to countries that are struggling every day, and I'm not seeing that shift. And Spirit will say, the vibration of love does reach those who need it the most. And sometimes it's a subtle acknowledgement, or a subtle shift, but the energy does reach those people. And I let that be enough. I let Spirit's words be enough when it comes to that, because there is so much that I don't understand. And I always say this, I don't have all the answers. Even though I work with Spirit, and I do a lot of channeling, and this is what I do full time in my life. I'll never sit here and say I have all the answers as to why this is happening. There are things that we don't know the answer to. All right, let's move on here a little bit. So Nate, I know yoga. I saw yoga with is it I saw her YouTube videos, and a lot of my friends follow her monthly plans, but I personally have never tried it. I love that. I'll look her up. Thanks very much, Sonny, for posting that. I saw a lot of hawks and falcons, so it's always a game of which one I'm seeing this time. When it comes to seeing them, and I really feel, Cheyenne, I have to kind of just tap in there. Number one, there's a few different meanings when it comes to seeing the hawks and falcons. And the hawk has a very deep connection with me, and the meaning of the hawk means something completely different than a spirit any spirit book. But I really feel that with these bigger birds, I'm really feeling that they're trying to show you that your wingspan has increased, and you can fly a greater distance. So I feel that they're kind of, saying, you know what, Cheyenne, look at your own wings. So, I really feel like I need to get you to kind of like spread your arms out and just kind of say, yeah, there is some power here. I can fly a little further. I can fly a little higher. And that being in the spiritual perspective, you can go a little bit deeper now. And I feel that because I just can't stop flapping my wings for you. I feel that is just such an important energy for you to tap into a little bit. Um, I'm learning to take all judgment out of everything that is said. It's just information, not good or bad. Absolutely. It just is. It just is. And sometimes with judgment, I mean, I have done so much work in judgment. And pretty much I if people want to judge me, that's none of my business. I truly am strong in that. Every now and again, do I judge myself? I think we all do a little bit. But as soon as that creeps in, I look at it as an opportunity. Is there something here you want to heal? Is there something here you want to work on? And are you picking up something on somebody else's thoughts? I do evaluate, how I'm feeling, because sometimes I pick something up that's not mine, or sometimes I'm judging myself because I have an awareness that I need to work on that. Yeah, I do need to work on that. So, but other people's judgment or what other people think, even though it may hurt a little bit, if it comes from someone that really care about, or you thought cared about you, some people who judge people have something else going on their own vibration that they're working on. And for a lot of behavior from other people, and that's how spirit shows me that they're just showing with their own unhealed, or the work that they still have to do with themselves, or what they're struggling with. Quite often when people judge you, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has to do with something within them. Right. So that's the place that I go, Dee Dee, when it comes to, picking up judgment. I think my mediumship and really going full time, I really had to master that, because there are so many different opinions about what I do. It can, sometimes I just walk into the room, and there's this controversy energy about what I do. And if people don't have to embrace me at any level, whether it be, with my spirituality, with my personal decisions, like, that's okay. Quite often it's their unhealed stuff, or their understanding, or their choice and free will on what belief systems that they want to lean into. And it's okay. I've really learned to truly take nothing personal. Right. um what does Spirit Animal Book have to say about the mouse? They've been running around in my room lately. All right, Wes, I'll look that one up for you, and then I'm going to do a collective one. I know there's still a lot of questions here, but I'm already 3 minutes over the time that I said I would stay on. And that's okay. I'm not going to fight the time thing. I'm not going to feel it so intense. I'm just going to be aware of it. All right, let's see what mouse is here. Mouse, Wes. Pay attention to details so as not to let anything important escape your attention. It's a time of plenty for you, yet one that requires vigilance in order to avoid any diminishing or significant losses. You may be missing something that is obvious and right in front of you. It's an appropriate time for closer scrutiny of all that's going on in your life, and to sort out which no longer fits. Make a dispassionate assessment of your strengths and your limitations without judgment. There's the judgment word. Without word, and be completely honest with yourself. You're missing an opportunity by narrowly focusing your attention on only one or two activities. All right. I know there's a lot of you that I didn't get to. PJ, I'm feeling called to ask what I can do better to provide comfort to my Lola. She's 18-year-old cat, so I'm worried bowels aren't doing well. Do you have any messages for me? Number one, PJ, you're doing a spectacular job. Number two, I need to put you really into cherishing each day. And I think that you're doing a really good job at that. I just have to focus in a little bit more. Today, the cat is here. Lola is here today. And I really feel that I feel that with this cat, animals teach us things too. And I feel with this cat, I feel like this cat is really teaching you how strong the power of now is, because we truly struggle with that. And I feel there's a big push into that. Really focus on the power of now. I feel like she's teaching you that big time. Let us move over here. Let's take a second and everybody just put their intentions into what does the group need to hear collectively. I'll give it a second or two. All right, and let's open her up. Ooh, the starfish. Keep your senses open to new opportunities that are about to appear and trust your intuition about which are the right ones to take advantage of. In spite of what others say, do things the way you want to, even if it's unusual or different from how most people would do them. Now, there's the whole coming, going deep into yourself, isn't it? There's no need to hurry. You can't make this up, you guys. There's no need to hurry. So take your time getting where you want to go. In spite of recent losses, trust that you'll recover fully and start anew. Someone in your circle of friends or family is indeed of your is in need, sorry, of your compassionate understanding. Meditate on the felt connection to all that is and your place on earth and in the cosmos. Holy cow. Once again, I don't know why I react that way every single time. I shouldn't really be surprised, but I am on how fitting the message is when we all ask and what we've been talking about and what's come up in the chats with judgment and the power of now. And it is what it is. It thumbs up if you enjoyed your morning with me today. I'll be coming on for a short live on Friday. We'll talk about where we are, how we're navigating through this whole time space, and let's try and shift our perspective on it. Let's really work on that for the next couple days. When we're feeling this kind of energy, we do have an opportunity to shift how we're going to respond to it. And that's the other big thing is how do I want to respond to this to this gong show? And practicing that pause is a good way to navigate through that too. And as you can tell, I'm stalling because I like hanging out here. I do have to go, you guys. Thumbs up if you enjoyed spending time with me. Let's have a wonderful day. As always, love, light, blessings, and let spirit guide the way. Take care, you guys.